Thank you for joining me on this auspicious Thursday where we've got a treat for you. We're going to do a show. Now, that's not a treat. You're used to that. That's every day. But not every day do we have Viviana, who will be joining me to do the damage report in just a little bit. But long before that, we do have this pre-show. And now is the time of the pre-show where I'll tell you that we will, of course, be getting to our headline story, which is Ainsley Earnhardt doing her best to correct some of Brian Kilmeade's weird, repetitive, casual misogyny. And failing to get through to him. Now, I ask you to do that. Sean Gallagher says in a comment, I will not reward tardiness. So I guess nobody's going to hit the like button. I guess there's no point in even asking. But if any of you do reward tardiness, please reward me. By the way, Kathy Harvey's been a member for 13 months, says, love my dragon family, never give up the fight. Well, thank you. I don't plan to. This is sort of my deal. But thank you, everyone, for being here. Okay, so we've got a lot that we have to talk about through the course of the 10 minutes I've allotted for this pre-show. I'm a little bit dragging today, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't know exactly what it is. We've got a great rundown. It just was hard for me to, you don't know the number of tabs that I have open at any given time, the number of different stories that ideally I would like to be able to fit into a rundown. And so I have all of that. We have awesome producers, of course, who are pitching stories too. It's sometimes hard to get all the pieces to line up. By the way, do you want to not be on camera? Or is it okay? So I only ask because that's Marissa. Marissa's awesome. She produces and cuts videos and runs the show behind the scenes, but also this is Marissa's last week.
It is.
Marissa has been a part of the show since 2 weeks before lockdown.
17 days.
It was like 7, we hired her. And we had maybe 5 shows in person, 8 shows. And then we went to lockdown, and now Marissa is going off to work, I think for Donald Trump, I think?
Yeah, no.
Doing comms, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. For Newsmax. No, I'm kidding. No, she's gonna be offering awesome stuff, but she has had her hands in literally thousands of clips that we've done, hundreds and hundreds of shows. So thank you for everything, Marissa. Marissa's great, and we are gonna miss her. Some would say the show is all downhill from here. But anyway, we do have some things to talk about as well, starting with this. So, the Supreme Court's going to destroy Roe v. Wade. The right is obviously excited about this. Now, Fox News is excited about this. Fox News also has occasional leftists on, who of course will go into the lion's den and then fight for their values, right? And so, Tulsi Gabbard went on Fox News. Oh, wait, no, she was actually in favor of it. She's in favor of Roe v. Wade being destroyed by the Supreme Court, despite the fact, of course, that she has in the past identified as pro-choice. Back for the 2020 election, she filled out, where is this, Vote Smart questionnaire, where she said, the very real possibility of Roe v. Wade being overturned terrifies me. I am sick of women's bodies being used as pawns so politicians can score cheap political points at the expense of their freedom and safety. That is an awesome statement from Tulsi Gabbard just 2 years ago, but since then, she's gone from wanting to be the Democratic nominee for president to wanting to have a career on Fox News. So now it's awesome that the Supreme Court is doing this. And in particular, she says, look at the narrative she spins for this. I think when you look at the different efforts to assault our freedom and democracy, it continuously points to the fact that they're afraid of the people. She's not talking about the Supreme Court or the right-wing movement. The assault on our freedom and democracy is the Democrats. This is fighting back against those assaults. They're afraid of us. They are afraid of this question being put to the people through their state legislatures for the people's voices to be heard and presumably to outlaw the procedure, which she said was cheap political point scoring just 2 years ago. I would argue it still kind of is. She's just now trying to get some of those points for herself, to get Sean Hannity and the right to accept her. It is disgusting as she seemed to be at the prospect just a couple of years ago. We can't be surprised by any of this at this point. As many have noted, the right, which has been thrilled at the possibility of Roe v. Wade being overturned for literally decades, has been pushing for it and all that. Now, all of a sudden, I don't so much want to talk about it because I think that they get that this is a political loser for them. Sean Hannity, on his radio show, called abortion a distraction issue. And he says the left, well, he defines the Democrats as the left. He doesn't know what he means when he says left, but that the Democrats are using abortion as a distraction. So the election should be about things like inflation, gas prices, but the Dems are creating this distraction. The Dems, who are presumably a supermajority in the Supreme Court that decided to do this. So are the Dems the justices that are overturning it? Are the Dems the right-wingers who launched multiple legal challenges against abortion rights to get it to the Supreme Court? No, but like honestly, think about this. They made this an issue because they want to overturn Roe v. Wade. They're apparently going to succeed in doing that. When they do it, it's a Democrat distraction. One of the things that the right has stressed the most for something like 40 or 50 years, the need to do this, is just a distraction by the left. So again, it's like what Nina Turner said, you know, you might get what you asked for. Well, you wanted to overturn this. The fact that it might get some people invested in politics, in no way, that's barely a silver lining. It doesn't balance out the fact that they're going to be, you know, finding people and locking people up for exercising rights they've had their entire lives. But it also can exist. Anyway, Brandy Lou 2 has been a tier 2 member for 17 months, says, thanks, Marissa. Thank you, Brandy Lou. I appreciate that. Okay, let's see. May Money to Building says, ever thought about interviewing one of your viewers? Well, actually, so I think I know what you mean, but realistically, I've actually interviewed quite a few viewers because we occasionally, Marissa can attest to this fact, we have people who come on to do interviews and then they say that they watch the show, so that's kind of cool. But no, I'm not against it at all. We, in fact, have had viewers who, actually, the woman who's going to be stepping in for Marissa's role, who just happens to suspiciously have the name Marissa, I'm starting to think it might just be Marissa in a different wig. I don't know. But anyway, she was a viewer, so I had to interview her for the job, actually. Anyway, really fast. Oh, God, there's so many things I want to get to. So one is there's this TikTok video. I'm not going to play the actual video, but in the video, employees at McDonald's are celebrating the fact that in a 1-hour period, they served 141 cars through their drive-thru, which is an amazing feat in terms of their ability to coordinate and get the job done. The fact that they individually would each get paid like maybe $10 for having done that, that is ridiculous, of course. That is a huge amount of work that they did, and they didn't just do it for 1 hour. They keep going and going and going, making thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for McDonald's. And they get paid, you know, basically nothing for it. Again, we're not lazy. They like to say that we're lazy, that if we have economic troubles, if, you know, it's just because we're not being productive enough. No, we're productive. Anyway, Grumpy Cat, it's starting in like 3 minutes. I got like 3 minutes. Okay, so let's jump to this. Ainsley Earnhardt, here we go.
For the last 3 months, we have had a disinformation czar and a unit within the Homeland Security Department. And even Mayorkas said on Sunday, yeah, I probably could have rolled that out a little bit better. Then we find out who's in charge of it. And this woman that's in charge of it, Nina Jankowicz, who's about 8.5 months pregnant, so I'm not sure how you get a job and then you can't do a job for 3 months. I'm not faulting her, but I don't know.
Yeah, you are.
Someone a job that you think someone
exactly what you're doing.
This job.
About 2 months, it looks like.
Yeah, well, I'll defend her on that one, Brian.
Yeah.
She has the right to have a baby and have maternity leave.
No, I know, but if you really want to have someone head up an organization, this is the face of the organization. She's passionate for musical theater, and she also is passionate for disinformation, like the.
Okay, so look, honestly, the pregnancy thing is the thing that we're going to focus on there, but the fact that they really do think the fact that she like sung a song at some point is reason enough that she should have this position. I don't even care. By the way, she was like a huge anti-Bernie person, so there's ideological reasons that I would be opposed to her. The fact that she sang in a video, again, this is not the win that they think it is. And she also has a passion for disinformation. No, like, but she's working to try to weed it out. And like, by the way, I understand that they think that this is like this massive win again. The Department of Homeland Security should be worried about lies and conspiracy theories that in the very recent past have given rise to acts of violence. Like, should you not care about QAnon and all that? Well, I don't know, once somebody takes a gun and goes into Comet Pizza to start killing people, the disinformation was pretty significant. The big lie is a lie. It is disinformation. When it leads to a violent insurrection that results in multiple people dying, I don't know. I think disinformation is pretty significant. Now, of course, they're not locking people up for lying, but they should be tracking this in the same way that they track all other things that are tied in with organization for these movements. Now, more significantly, though, you have the pregnancy. This is not the first time that Brian Kilmeade has been faulting her individually or other people for being pregnant and thinking that they should still be able to have a job or a career. And by the way, can they at least bear in mind they're trying to right now argue that pregnancy is the best thing ever and nothing should ever be done to limit it. At the same time, if you follow their advice and get pregnant, no, you don't get to have a career. Why are you trying to get jobs and stuff like that? No, Ainsley Earnhardt, she tried to fight back against that. That is a losing battle. In this, Tucker Carlson attacking members of the military that happen to be pregnant. Again, Ainsley gets to, she gets to be conservative and surround herself with people who fundamentally think that she is less human than they are, less deserving of rights or consideration, empathy, compassion, and all that. She gets to make that decision, but then we get to watch it and think, geez, that's a bad situation you've put yourself into, where you just have to, you're surrounded by misogynistic right-wing men, and you want to fight back against that because you have some self-respect. But you know that if you go too hard, the viewers are going to hate it. It's a really weird position to put yourself in. Anyway, with that said, we've got the watch list. J.R. Jackson is going live at twitch.tv/TYT and youtube.com/watchlistTYT. So definitely go check that out. Tell them the Dragon Squad sent you. And then I will see you in 1 hour. Viviana Vigil will be joining me. We're going to be running through an awesome show. Hope to see you then for more news.